Hi, I'm Rob Carson, host of the Blue Team Warrior podcast, and today I have Mr. Alexandre Blanc. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, really happy to join you. It's exciting. Thank you for getting me there.
Awesome, cool. So first question, tell us who you are and what do you do?
So I do work as a strategical and security advisor at VARS. It's written on my background. And basically I'm working between VCSOs and businesses and business development to make sure that everybody talks the same language. I'm someone very technical, and I think I'm known on LinkedIn to be like the cloud slayer. And that's coming from me being very, very sensitive to privacy and the way we exploit data. So that's why I'm fighting against the cloud of big tech abuse, trying to make bending the trajectory of technology to something more privacy and security respectful. So that's
You mean the cloud is not magical? It's not, doesn't just.
It was supposed to be. I think it's like a money machine. You put money on it, it should do everything, but it didn't work.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, cool. So then tell us a story.
Yeah, so I have one story. I mean, and that did happen many times. So one part of my job is doing a digital footprint investigation. Some call it dark web investigation, but it's more a combination of OSINT, open source intelligence, data gathering. You know what a bad guy will do as a reconnaissance phase before attacking an organization? Basically, that's the dark web footprint services that we provide. And when I do that, I do gather data that can anything I can get about a company or an organization without breaching it. So basically, the passive reconnaissance. And thing that was happening is that we sometimes had a mandate to gather data and realized that an incident was already ongoing. And one of the things that goes with this research is like intelligence feeds. And all the ransom claim and stuff, you get that in your inbox or in your feed or whatever tool you use. And one time was a customer and I got that ransom claim with like 50 gig file leak outside. And you check that stuff, go into your browser, find the site and see passport, bank accounts, like, oh boy. and
Oh, wow.
So that was the blue team side of things, because at the same time, basically we do that to help organization to enhance their posture, master their attack surface and be aware of that stuff. And at the same time, we kind of try to be in the attacker mindset. See how I'm going to break you. And the fun fact, that was one thing. But the fun fact is I was doing that as part of a due diligence process. It was a merger and acquisition happening, a big company. And I did the investigation, found many intelligent stuff, like that you could exploit, vulnerable servers, accounts and stuff. And I do the report thing, Word document, send as PDF. And then I connect to the debrief meeting with the organization. So there is the board there sitting in the room, and they didn't see me connecting. So I'm hearing what they say. And the IT guy pulled the report and said, there is nothing there. That's only old crap and old password we're aware of. And that thing, there's nothing there. And then we kick in, and I start to go through the report and the explanation, because basically, you go through your findings and you explain them in both a technical approach and a business side approach, and I would exploit this. And finally, the guy who said, no, there is nothing there, he ended up like writing down 5 pages of notes about how I would take over the organization. And the fun thing is that one of the key findings lately, that people have no idea about the risk of that, it's the subdomain takeover. I don't want to spend too much time, but basically with the digital transformation in cloud, everybody tend to use wildcards or just create like randomly subdomain for third party for marketing. And then they forget about it, and it's pointing to IPs and they forget. And then we know when you take any, you actually create a server online, and the first thing you do just for fun, try to look for the PTR record on a reverse DNS history and see what's still pointing at the server. And you will be surprised. So many organizations may actually point to the IP you now own, and you can claim that subdomain. So and that's something that you can do spamming, super advanced phishing. You can have a free SSL certificate and with Let's Encrypt on it, and then have a super efficient phishing on it. So So that's the kind of stuff that we bring, and I like it because usually even IT people sometimes claiming to be security, they don't see the risk, and when you explain to them, it's like, the jaw is falling. So that was funny, and it's good because we bring value. I think that's the core of the blue team spirit. Red and purple team together. So that's my take on it. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. That's awesome. No, and it's fascinating sometimes trying to articulate what it means in the business sense, right? Because like I think that's one of the downfalls of our community in general is it's like the hackers are coming. Like, what does it matter to the business? Like, does this stop me from generating revenue, or am I just buying an employee's LifeLock? Like, not the privacy doesn't matter, but where do you spend your assets, right?
Yeah.
And then if you don't have the money, what do you decide not to collect instead? That's awesome. So we have a few minutes left. Anything else you want to add? If not, just do a shout out and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, actually, I want to shout out to 3 persons, if this is fine.
Okay.
There is Christophe Foulon on LinkedIn. This guy, Christophe, is now working with a big credit company, I believe, as a CISO or something. And he was working previously in a company called Grim. And Grim is doing an annual cybersecurity conference. And Christophe got me invited into the newbie track. So I got to do my first international conference through Grim. And I'm thankful he did that because that was actually the trigger on my ability to speak on a more international level. And that was funny because that was just him. Second shout out quickly, René Small. I don't know if I pronounced the first name correct, but in French it sounds like René. René Small. She's actually helping people starting in cybersecurity, giving advice. She's actually working, hiring people and staffing and stuff in cyber and actually advising. She's working with Christophe on many groups on LinkedIn. So she's doing some really good for people who want to start in cyber. So that's cool. And finally, the usual reference, Chris Roberts on my end, has been an inspiration since day one because of the true speaking, like no boundaries, say what you think. And I know sometimes people complain, but he did. I'm like known on LinkedIn. My profile is going. I've been top voice there and all. And that Chris, and I know he doesn't like because I always speak about him. And it's like, no, it's not me, And it's like, yeah, guy, this is you. You did show me that you can actually be yourself and make a difference, being like true to yourself. So thanks, Chris. Keep up the good work.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you all for listening, and until the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.